Hello YouTube family, it's Loza from the Baking Mad Gym Addict. Welcome to my kitchen and thanks for tuning in to watch another one of my food prep videos. This week I roasted 2 whole flavoursome chickens and made 6 lunch boxes of salmon, green rice and veggies. Oh, and I also got super organised and prepped some chocolate protein oatmeal for this week's breakfasts. I am so excited to share this video with you because I discovered 2 really cool things this week. Number 1, I discovered Mingle seasoning, which is an all-natural, low-sodium, tasty way to jazz up your chicken. These seasonings are awesome because they have no MSG and no sugar. The best part is that these seasonings have absolutely no calories, and so you can really go to town with flavouring the heck out of your meal prep boxes. Mingle seasoning are based in Australia, but they deliver worldwide, so if you fancy giving these a go, check out the link in the description box. The second cool thing I discovered was vertical chicken roasters, which have revolutionised the way I cook my chickens. This is basically a small circular non-stick metal pan with a tall wire frame, and all you have to do is find the cavity of your chicken and pop it onto the shaft of the wire frame. I wouldn't go so far as to say that these have changed my life, but gee whiz, it's pretty close. Cooking the whole chicken vertically means it's more efficient because the hot air of your oven can circulate all the way around the chicken and up the inside of the cavity. This can cut down the cooking time because the chicken cooks evenly from both the inside and the outside. I also found that the chicken meat tastes more juicy and moist cooking this way because as the natural fat and juices from the chicken drains downwards, those liquids flavour and moisten the meat during the cooking. Winner winner chicken dinner. I bought mine from Victoria's Basement in Sydney for $7 Australian, which is £3.50 if you're from the UK or $5.30 if you're from the US of A. So let's talk about the salmon. This one had a parmesan and herb topping and was flavoured with lemon, parsley and mint. It only took 35 minutes to cook in the oven. The salmon was really easy to make. I simply lay it on a tray, lined with tin foil and popped it in the oven for about half an hour at 200 degrees Celsius, which is 400 degrees Fahrenheit. You'll notice that I put the salmon on a tray at the top of the oven and removed one of the metal racks from the bottom of the oven. I set up my oven this way so that I could fit the vertical chickens and the salmon into my oven at the same time. Alrighty, so let's move on to the chicken. I'm going to show you 2 different ways of how I marinate my chicken. First of all, grab your seasoning. I'm going to be a bit fancy and blend 2 different kinds of my Mingle seasoning together. For my first chicken, I'm going to mix together Sass and Sophia to achieve a deep, smoky and spicy flavour. All I do is shake the seasoning into a bowl and mix it up together to form a nice dry rub for the chicken. I don't measure it, but I just guess how much it will take to cover the whole chicken. Once that's mixed up, I coat the chicken with the seasoning and massage it into the skin. You can actually pop your chicken on the vertical roaster at this stage and leave your chicken overnight in the fridge to dry out the skin and let the flavours develop. But meh, ain't nobody got time for that, so I just continued cooking. For my second chicken, I'm going to mix the sienna and Sammy seasoning to get a yummy all-purpose garlic and herb flavour. And so I sprinkle the Mingle seasoning into a bowl and then I put in a few dollops of olive oil and mix it around to make a wet rub. Once your seasoning is mixed together, I just spoon it over the chicken and rub it in. And yep, I've got seasoning all over my hands. But hey, getting messy in the kitchen is half the fun sometimes. Just remember to wash your hands thoroughly to make sure you don't end up contaminating everything with your raw chicken hands. Once your chickens are all seasoned, it's just a matter of getting your vertical chicken roaster and popping your chicken gently onto it. Make sure he's sitting nice and comfy and then move over to grab your other wee chicken friend and pop him onto his roaster too. It's quite a novelty seeing these wee chickens standing up. I think they look really cute together like this. Don't stress if you can't track down one of these vertical chicken roasters. I've read somewhere that you can prop up your chickens with beer cans and apparently it gives your chicken a beer flavour. My husband has made me promise to try that one day, so if I get round to it, I'll film it and I'll show it to you. If you're not brave enough to stick a beer can in your oven, then some cake pans like angel food cake pans or bunt cake pans with the pillar in the middle can be used instead to prop up your chicken. I decided to cover the chickens with tin foil hats so that they didn't burn too much, but to be honest, this step isn't necessary. I've since tried roasting them without the tin foil and both ways turned out really tasty, so it's just up to you. As I was popping the chickens into the oven, I realised that because of the time I spent faffing about with seasonings and the chickens, that my salmon was done. After leaving the salmon to rest for about 10 minutes, I split up the salmon into portions and set it aside. Alrighty, so next I'm going to prep my carbs to go with my protein. This week I'm eating green rice. This is an organic brand and it's made from short grain brown rice which has been infused with bamboo extract. This gives it a slight green colour. It's marketed as high in fibre, 96% fat free and free from gluten. I pour the whole 500 gram packet into a pan and sprinkle in some Mingle garlic and herb seasoning and some Himalayan pink sea salt. I add about 2 cups of water and bring the pan to the boil. Once the water water starts bubbling, I reduce the heat and simmer the rice for around 15 to 20 minutes. Once the rice has been cooked, I turn off the heat, give it a stir and pop the lid on for about 10 minutes. Now, I'm usually a sweet potato kind of gal because I sometimes find rice a bit bland, and so this is what I do to make rice a bit more exciting and flavoursome. I drizzle some olive oil into a non-stick pan on a medium heat. I then sprinkle on some Sofia spicy mingle seasoning. Oh, and this is a shot of my sriracha sauce, which I will also be adding. I pour the rice into the pan. Next, I pour in a kilo of frozen peas and sweet corn and mix the veggies into the rice until the veggies are cooked. Once my veggies are cooked, I'm going to drizzle some hot sriracha sauce to give my rice a bit of a kick. If you prefer a more mild flavour, feel free to substitute the sriracha sauce with some ketchup instead. And there we go, that's your rice prepped. Woohoo! By now the chickens have been roasting in the oven for about an hour, and at this stage I remembered that I'd forgotten to add my fresh herbs, and so I took off the tin foil and brought out my herbs. This week I have some fresh rosemary sprigs and some fresh lemon thyme. I love adding these fresh herbs to boost the flavours of the chicken. It just adds a really nice taste and brings out the seasonings even more. I pop them back into the oven for another 20 minutes until the juices run clear, and then ta-da! You have perfectly cooked chicken. I sometimes giggle at how funny these chickens look standing up. I mean, look at these two guys, they look like they're giving each other cuddles. So cute. Anyway, so that's my chicken done, my rice done, and my salmon done. You can see that I have my food prep boxes all ready to be filled. Other things I prepped this week were some frozen bananas, and so I bought a big bunch so that I could break them up and freeze them. This means that they can be thrown into smoothies or made into banana ice cream at a moment's notice. I also prepped some protein oats this week. These are sometimes known as proats. You'll need some cinnamon and some rolled oats. I also like to add some superfood powder. This one is Izoe's maca cacao and mesquite superfood powder, and so I add a dash of that for some extra nutrients. I also add some Ivory Coast chocolate grass-fed whey protein powder. This is also from Izoe. Normally I make my protein oats by adding a scoop of chocolate protein powder, which is about 32 grams, some cinnamon to taste, about a teaspoon of superfood powder and 30 grams of oats. I measure it on my trusty orange digital scale. I have a voucher which can give you 50% off this scale, so if you're into measuring the weight of your food, check out the details in the description box below. Next, I add some water. The trick is not to add too much water because you want your oats to taste as chocolatey as possible, almost like a thick, rich, chocolatey, cinnamony sauce. Once you've mixed everything well, it will look like this. Once you've got that nice, thick, rich chocolate consistency, you can pop it into the microwave for 30 seconds, and I swear this will taste like a delicious, yummy treat food. The recipe obviously depends on the flavour of your protein powder, but I find the Izoe chocolate brand works really well. All you need to do is make 5 servings in a big bowl and mix together the ingredients. Once the ingredients are all mixed up, I just transferred the protein oats into a big sandwich bag. I have a few spare protein scoops, and so I just popped one inside the bag so that it was easy to dish out into a bowl whenever I wanted to eat it. Right, time to prep up my boxes. This week I just popped the salmon and rice and veggies into the boxes. Just to give you an idea of the macros, 400 calories will look like 40 grams of green rice, 100 grams of salmon, and 60 grams of frozen veggies. This will equate to 23 grams of protein, 16 grams of fat, and 8 grams of carbs. If you decide to put the chicken into your food boxes instead of the salmon, 400 calories will look like 40 grams of green rice, 120 grams of roasted chicken meat, and 60 grams of frozen veggies. This will give you 38 grams of protein, 5 grams of fat, and 10 grams of carbs. I didn't put any of the chicken into my lunch boxes this week, but I still like roasting a couple of chickens at the weekend. Even if the chicken doesn't go into your lunch boxes, you can use the chicken meat for different meals during the week by adding it to salads or omelettes. Often I end up just munching on a couple of pieces of chicken as a quick snack. According to the foodsafety.gov website, cooked chicken will usually be okay to eat if it's stored in the fridge for 3 to 4 days or 2 to 6 months in the freezer. If you would like to see more videos from my channel, please give this video a like and subscribe to my channel. You can also have a wee nosy at my Facebook page and Instagram account if you like. Happy food prepping everybody, and good luck. Bye!